music is playing so you guys can all dance. If you feel like it. I'm just saying.
And we'll judge.
Yeah, this is not a panel actually, it's a dancing contest. I didn't know. What was that? Yes. Brilliant.
You get to go to all your friends and say, I want the second book of Comic Con dance.
This could be your Facebook moment.
Together, you guys, and hanging out and sharing our knowledge. So let's see if we can get started. I hope no one gets mad if we get early. We can start early, right? Yeah. Okay.
You guys are so enthusiastic. We can start earlier.
I'm actually here for the next panel.
Awesome.
Is it all age?
I love it. So you are here for Creativity That Lasts. This is one of my favorite panels. I'm honored to be with this awesome group of panelists. We're super excited to be here. And you know, on that note, I always want to emphasize that we are here for you guys. You know, as creators, as artists, as writers, I feel like we do a lot of our work in solitary confinement. You know, we're chained to our desks or in front of our canvases, and it gets lonely, to be honest. So it's really cool to be able to come together at events like this and share what we've learned and hear, you know, what you're going through. And on that note, if we're talking about something that sparks your interest or that you're working on that you want us to elaborate on or keep going, you know, feel free to let us know. Raise your hand, shout it out, whatever you want to do. We're a pretty fun, laid back group of people. Except for Rob, he's terribly mean. No.
Go ahead and ask a question. No.
But it's really cool because we have...
After that I started, I went to film school to study screenplays. I'm going to start writing screenplays, and then I started dealing with Hollywood. And so I went, I will write a book instead. So my first novel was just published called Blade Singer. Co-written with the Nebula Award-nominated author Martha Wells. It's a fantastic book. It's for tweens. I don't know what that means, but I think it means you're not a little kid and you're not a... there we go. You two would love it. And I'll sign it. I'll sign it. So anyway, and by the way, Genese has been doing a fantastic job as moderator. So big thumbs up for him.
I put my heart and soul into it, so to hear that means
I'm
a lot.
Erik Reeves, artist for several comics, independent comics. I work for Image. I've done some little work for Marvel and DC. I do sketch cards, art, video games, concept designs. I worked on Transformers War for Cybertron. Actually designed all the weapons for that game with Jim Davey.
Nice.
And that's my passion. I love comics, and that's one of the things that I just love, dwelling in that world, anything creative, so that's why I'm here today.
Awesome. So to reiterate for everyone that just came in, we're absolutely here for you, so definitely reach out with those questions, and afterward, if we don't get to them, come up and connect with us and grab our cards, and definitely keep in touch, because we're here for you. So to just jump into Creativity That Lasts, the whole point of this panel, you know, what drives creativity? You know, how do we keep it going? And all of us are going to kind of share our little tips and tricks and our guiding principles that we've learned along the way. But just to start things off, so I don't put anyone on the spot, but I'm coming for them next. Passion. You know, I remember the moment. Is it different?
It's pretty similar with me. I can totally agree with you when you find a void that you want to fill. I got a book called Hood Rats in Space, just to give you an idea. So I was
like the name.
I was trying to fill a void that I thought existed in the comic
What
industry.
was that?
It was pretty much that there was, I grew up in the hip-hop community, of course, and so I wanted to bridge the gap between the hip-hop community and comics, because I thought that no one was really doing something that was unique with it, so I just found two things that shouldn't go together but could go together, and I experimented with it, and I thought I could fill a void, and it seems like I'm doing a good job of it, so I totally understand that.
Absolutely, and Rob, I mean, you bring to life characters. You know, he's this artist that just, he jokes and says stick figures, but they're not. They're amazing. So, I mean, when you're sitting in front of the canvas, you know, you get inspired to bring these characters to life, right? I mean, it's pretty awesome.
That's what my wife told me.
No, it's, you know, for me, More so in my fine art, I think, than it is even in my what I call pop art or fantasy art. What I like, it's moments that I like. Somebody asked me what my favorite painting is of mine, and most of the time I say most of my stuff is crap.
No.
But there's one painting I did of Magneto, and I wanted to catch the moment when he realized he was the villain. It was that one moment, that split second, and that's what motivates me. It's moments in time and space and what it takes to present that and show it to other people, what it is you're feeling or whatever. I have a question before we get to you, young man.
Yes.
How many people out there are artists?
Trolls and goblins and things like that. And suddenly he finds himself having to survive. And he's terrified and he wants to find a way to get back home. So it's a very psychedelic sort of Dorothy tale, except he's in the body of a goblin pickpocket. So anyway, but yeah, that's exactly that need. I wanted to see more stories that I could relate to. Not to say that I love Narnia and I love Wizard of Oz and I love all that stuff. But yeah, diversity in books. I think I'd love to see more books with minority characters, with gay characters, with female characters, but female characters that aren't just the little white girl that grew up in that kind of, all kinds of diversity, and that would be fantastic. The world is diverse, and our literature should be equally as diverse.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that leads in, so that's one side of the coin, that where creativity comes from passion and finding that inner fire. But there's the other side of the coin with creativity, the logistic side, like actual things that you can do to help your creativity. So I'll start it off, but I definitely want everybody to jump in with what you use to get over things like we always hear, writer's block or artist block. And so for me, some of the things that I jotted down that I do is environment. I make sure that I have
Greatest things I've ever heard, the guy told me, he goes, you can't play video games, but you can watch them. So there's YouTube. I don't know if you guys watch the walkthroughs on YouTube. So I have 2 monitors set up. So what I do now is I work and I let it play. I watch my cousins and my brothers spend all their money on video games, but I can tell them how it ends before they even watch it. But that inspires me, so I'll let that play through. And magazines are really inspirational for me. Sometimes I'll sit there and I'll have, not necessarily creative block, it's illustration, but I look at a lot of different genres of art, and magazines are very, I love anything that no one else, in my mind I'm thinking no one's going to think to look here. So I'll look in a magazine, and I could look at a car manual, and I'll just flip through there and see all the nuts and bolts and how the engines are made, or I'll look at car magazines, something that's not supposed to be related to comics or whatever field you're working in. I find it more inspiring to look into something
I'm completely with you on that.
that is not supposed to be what I'm looking at. Because you're looking at comics and most people will go pick up a Spider-Man or something to draw Spider-Man. I'll go look at something that's totally unrelated. I mean, I might look at how flowers, a book on flowers, and get inspired by the colors in that book. So that just, you gotta look around for inspiration in different places.
And speaking on that, like literally, look at everything. One of the shows I sold to Sci-Fi that we're in script form on right now, a TV show. I got the idea from watching, not Life, but the one about Earth, Planet Earth.
Yeah.
And it was not even Planet Earth. It was in the end section where they're showing you all behind the scenes and stuff.
Yes,
ma'am. When you write or draw or anything, would you prefer to be in a loud spot or a quiet spot?
So the question is, when you write or you draw, would you prefer to be in a loud spot or a quiet spot? Great question. For me personally, it can be loud because I put my headphones on and I play those movie soundtracks or music. So it could be loud because I kind of muffle it out with my headphones and my soundtracks, but also quiet's okay too because then I don't have to muffle it out so much. What about you guys?
Well, he mentioned lyricless. Yeah, lyricless music. Because otherwise, as you're writing, you're like, you're typing play that funky music. No, wait, that's not what it says.
Not for me, I like hip hop.
Yeah, and everyone's different. Everyone's different. Inspiration is where you find it. And whatever inspires you, it could be anything, definitely right that way. But I prefer quiet.
I like quiet, but I tend, because I work so late at night, and to me, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but the world is like sleep at a certain time, and it's like I feel like I'm in this zone with just other creative people in the world right now.
That's true. I've done a lot of work at night. I've done a lot of work at night. Yes, ma'am.
Favorite animation software or gaming software? Which platforms do you work off of?
favorite animation platforms or gaming platforms. So this is for design?
For your gaming, for when you're creating the games.
Oh, for creating games.
Yeah, I mean, well, I write the stories for
Okay.
it, so they usually have their own internal engine that they use. And, you know, but I know there's a lot of talk about Unity. Unity seems to be very popular for independent people who want to do their own little games or their garage or whatever. But yeah, I don't, for software, for screenwriting, I use Final Draft, which is very, very good. And for writing novels, I just use Word, but I don't
Yeah,
do anything.
awesome. Awesome question. And you can meet with me after, because I do work with a lot of designers, and I can ask them and then email you all of the software that they use.